welcome back to Bash Bros in episode 76 of Notorious Pro Wrestling, the TEW Let's Play series where we find out what exactly would happen if Conor McGregor started his own wrestling promotion. It is the night of the Banjaxed 2022 pay-per-view, and it should hopefully be a great show. It's been a week since you guys have been here, and for my weeks and weeks and weeks of trying to break the 70 mark, look what fucking happened on a random episode. We scored a 70 on our latest outing. I was kind of surprised. Like, it was not a bad card, but I didn't think it was an absolute belter of a card. But apparently it was. So we had Rio O'Reilly go over Raven Creed in a pre-show. That's why I talk about that. So we kind of continued the feud. Nick Aldis attacking Miles Cayman backstage, so that Embassy versus the Gold Hunters feud continued, and that set up a match for tonight: Aldis versus Cayman. Conor then demanded Grado sort out this Pac mess, and guess what? He got the fucking shite kicked out of him by Pac in a 67 match. And in the main event we had Gresham versus Kid Lycos Jr. I mean, both guys did great. Lycos Jr. scored 61, 62, and Gresham just doing Gresham things with the 69 and got a 68 overall. So yeah, and then we got a 70. Oh, unbelievable. So as with every pay-per-view show, I will go through the match card and the storylines leading into them. 2 months ago, Aussie Open claimed the NPW tag titles, and since then the NIC have set their sights on the tag team from Down Under. What? I don't know. Eddie Dennis offered Aussie Open his services, claiming he would make them better than they have been, but Aussie Open declined, claiming that they won the titles their way and they will defend them their way. So after the NIC won a number one contenders match against former champions Dynasty, this match is set for tonight as the NIC take on Aussie Open for the NPW tag team titles. After reuniting for one more match, Nick Aldis seemed convinced that the British invasion would continue to go on, but Doug Williams doesn't want that. Doug Williams wants to coach younger talent and bring them to the forefront of British wrestling. Nick Aldis didn't like that, not one bit, and attacked Doug Williams. After the British Wrestling Embassy got a measure of revenge against Nick, all hitting their finishers on him, Nick Aldis retaliated by attacking and bloodying Miles Cayman backstage during Billington's Bulldog tag match. Tonight, can the young Miles Cayman overcome the man who helped revive the NWA franchise, Nick Aldis? And what role will Coach Doug play, seeing a former mentee and his current mentee face off in the ring? Grado has become a desperate man. Kenny Williams left GTA. Amir Jordan was injured and had to leave GTA. Mark Andrews lost to Eddie Dennis and had to leave GTA. And finally, Riho reconciled with her friend Maki Ito and left GTA. Under threat of being fired, Grado searched high and low for a new client and finally found an interesting one. The Bastard Pack agreed to join GTA, but it was soon, very soon, realised that he only did that to get into NPW. Pac attacked Grado, Pac attacked Conor, Pac attacked anyone within chair shot distance. Conor then demanded Grado face Pac one-on-one to try and get him out of the company, but Grado failed and Pac continued the assault post-match until former client Mark Andrews made the save, leading to this match tonight as the defender of indie wrestling Mark Andrews takes on the Bastard Pack. Maki Ito beat 16 other women to win the women's knockout tournament for a new number one contender. There is a long history of Maki Ito versus Tessa, but things are a lot different this time round. Maki Ito recently coming back from reconciling with her friend Riho, and Tessa at the top of her game with Dynasty backing her up. How will things play out this time round now with the Notorious Pro Wrestling Women's Championship on the line? Crazy Mary Dobson attacked Rhea and Martina after their women's eliminator tournament match, and that pissed off Rhea O'Reilly. Rhea has been calling out Crazy Mary Dobson weekly, while Martina has been begging her not to. Well, Rhea O'Reilly finally gets her way as she takes on Crazy Mary Dobson with Jake the Snake Roberts in her corner tonight. Jay Lethal's descent into madness continues. He injured Chris Hero weeks ago and then went on to beat James Storm and his former tag partner Jonathan Grisham. It was only at the last pay-per-view Hero returned and made the save when Lethal tried to injure his former best friend. Hero was tired of Lethal running away and dodging him, so there's only one way to finish this, and that is inside a steel cage. As tonight we get Chris Hero versus Jay Lethal, number 4. And in our main event, Pentagon continues to knock down challenger after challenger after challenger and has requested the best from Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor went away and came back with an answer. Pentagon's brother Ray Phoenix. These two are no strangers to facing each other. So what will happen tonight when Ray Phoenix takes on his brother Pentagon Jr. for the Notorious Pro Wrestling Championship? So that is our card. I think either the Aldous Cayman match or the Dobson Rhea match will go on to the pre-show. I just don't think I have enough time for it all. Probably the Dobson Rhea match. Yeah, unfortunately. But I still think it'll be a very good card. I think the Ray Pentagon match, there's potential there. Hopefully they have good chemistry together. I think they do, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, let's book the show, shall we? Okay, and we are back, coming at you from the Convention Centre in Dublin, Ireland, in front of 779 fans. That is a lot of fans. It is Banjaxed 2022. So I ended up moving the Crazy Mary Dobson Rhea O'Reilly match to the pre-show, along with the angle that goes with it. I didn't have a Conor McGregor promo planned, but I thought I'd put one in anyways, just to enhance the Grado Desperation storyline. Do I have any concerns about the match? Probably Ray Phoenix vs Pentagon is actually my biggest concern. One, because it's in the main event, so it dictates our rating the most. But Ray Phoenix is an unknown quantity. We haven't had him have a match yet in Notorious, and his gimmick debut bombed. So I don't know. But only one way to find out, and that is to start the show. So in a pre-show match, Lycos Jim defeated the Velocities in 14:33 when Lycos Jr. pinned Jude London. Junior had a 65, Lycos had a 62, Jude had a 63, Silva had a 58. Junior has started to outperform Lycos, and that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. 65 rated match. That's for a pre-show. That is astounding. So it is. Good job. Next up on a pre-show match, Mary Dobson defeated Rhea O'Reilly in 15:03. Mary had a 58, Rhea had a 47, and 56 overall, which is good. Post-match then, Martina is too scared to come out and save Rhea, so she would kind of run down to the ring to make the save from the beatdown. Mary Dobson would then turn and look at her as she got into the apron, and Martina would back down. 61 rated segment. So yes, it's just to give, Rhea will obviously be pissed about that, to create a bit of tension between her and Martina, and then it gives Martina something to overcome to save her friend. Then on to the main show. In an exceptional match, Pac defeated Mark Andrews in 14:47. Andrews had a 62, Pac had a 75, 73 rated match. This should have been the fucking main event. This should have been the main event. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That is pretty sick. Really hope Penta versus Ray is going to match that. Post-match angle then, agents and Connor come out to check on Mandrew, who is down after being in the brutalizer for so long, and Pac laughs maniacally as he goes back up the ramp. 80 rated segment because Connor talked good. Next up, in a backstage promo, Nick Aldis hopes Doug Williams learns from what is about to happen to Miles Kamen. 62 rated segment, which is good. Then on to the match itself. Miles Kamen, yes, you read that right, Miles Kamen. Miles Kamen defeated Nick Aldis in 15-12, following distraction from Doug Williams and a flash pin, because I had to add like 3 or 4 different caveats to make Nick Aldis okay with this. He was not happy about taking the loss here. Miles with a 59, that is great from Miles, and a 60 from Nick Aldis. And they have great chemistry. Okay, did not expect that. All people have good chemistry. Yeah, okay, and a 58, that's great. Good job from everyone. That's really cool. Good thing these two are probably going to have another match like down the line. Next up in a superb match, Aussie Open defeated the NIC in 17:53 when Mark Davis pinned Oisin Delaney with a fidget spinner, making defense number 2 for Aussie Open. Charlie had a 57, Oisin had a 56, Kyle had a 66, and Mark had a 62. And some good tag bonuses for both teams. 63 rated match, which is good, very good. There is a reason why Aussie Open are our tag champs, and it's not because of their mic skills. Next up in a backstage angle, both Riho and Maiko Satomura hug and wish Maki Ito good luck before her match. 65 rated segment. And in the match itself, Maki Ito defeats Tessa Blanchard to win the Notorious Women's Championship. 57 from Maki, 61 from Tessa. Good bonuses for Maki, and a 62 overall. Great. Yes, Maki Ito is the new champ. Tessa has had a hell of a run. Tessa was definitely our best women's competitor in terms of overall performance. Definitely in ring performance. Maki, although she is not as good in the ring as Tessa, her promo ability more than makes up for that. Maki was always, probably for the longest time, going to be my next women's champion. So what happens for Tessa now? I think Dynasty is probably going to be breaking up. Not soon, but like definitely within the next couple of months, Dynasty is going to start to break up. Tess is going to get too big for her boots and start taking it out on everyone. Originally I was going to have Zia turn face whenever I thought Zia was going to leave for WWE. Now that isn't happening, I don't know. I kind of want Davey Boy to split away and join the British Wrestling Embassy as like a main eventer. So I would have, for that faction, Davey Boy as a main eventer, Miles as the mid-card, and the Billington Bulldogs as the tag team, which works well as well because the Billington Bulldogs are the cousins of Davey Boy Smith, as far as I'm aware. Natalia then, probably, because she's a mouthpiece, I don't know what I would do with Natalia. She's good chemistry with Davey Boy, but her going across to the British Wrestling Embassy doesn't really fit. She could continue to be a heel and maybe be Tessa's mouthpiece, but then I don't think Tessa needs a mouthpiece. And then, you know, what happens with Joe and Zia? If Zia doesn't turn face, what happens there? You know, does she just be a mid-card on the roster for the women's division? And then Joe, poor Joe, fuck, what happens to Joe Henning? Like, let's be honest, he's been good. He has been a good tag champ, but, you know, does that go out the window? And does he just kind of fall into obscurity as a mid-card guy? I don't know. If Dynasty break up, Tessa will be fine, and I have plans for Davey, but the rest of the members I have nothing for, which is why I'm not in a rush to break them up, but eventually I do plan to break them up. Next up, in a cage match, Jay Lethal defeats Chris Hero by pinfall. Hero had a 64 and Lethal had a 63, 65 overall, which is great. So this will kind of be the end of the Hero Lethal section of this feud. Lethal will now go on to feud with Pentagon. I think Jay Lethal is after his big heel turn, is probably the next best heel to face Pentagon. Don't want to do Pac versus Pentagon just yet, that will happen. So I think Lethal's a good choice for a month or two to feud with Pentagon. And next up, in an exceptional match, Pentagon defeats Ray Phoenix in 23-17 with a top rope styles clash, making this defense number 14 for Penta. Ray had a 74, god damn dude, and Penta had a 66, 71 overall. Whoa. I was worried that the Pac match was going to be the best. I mean, it was, but still it's broke 70. And then post-match, brothers hug and celebrate to close the show. 60 rated segment. Okay, so what do I think this was? 71 rated main event, but there was a 74 and a very, very strong promo from Connor. I think 74. I've definitely broke 70 easy. 71, okay. Okay, I'll take it. Lower than I thought, but still unbelievable. 71 rated show. Our best card to date. You know, and I can't blame it. You know, Pentagon versus Ray slapped. Pac versus Mandrews slapped. There was not a bad match on that card. Even Miles Kamen, who was probably the weakest performer on that card, did fantastically with a 58. Awesome. Really, really happy with that. That's sick. So a bit of news coming out of the pay-per-view is that our YouTube deal is expiring in the Oceania region, so our Australian region. That'll be easy to renew. Not too worried about that. Jeff Hardy is re-signing with WWE. In real life, he has just kind of been suspended from AEW for DUI and is currently in rehab. So yeah, that's a choice. Last wee bit of news then is that Joe is staying with WWE. That's actually really disappointing. In my first ever playthrough of Notorious, that wasn't on the channel, I actually signed Joe and I had Joe versus Conor McGregor. Fucking how dope would that match be? But yes, guys, that is it for another week of Notorious Pro Wrestling. I actually don't know when you guys will next be back. I don't have any more big debuts planned or title changes or anything like that, so it could be a while. As always, if you have enjoyed this episode, do leave a like and subscribe to Bash Bros for this and many other great shows. If you have any ideas for tag teams, feuds, storylines, stables, you name it, put it in the comments and I will try book it for you. And with all that being said, I will see you next time on Bash Bros.